Hello all Royal Rangers, my name is Commander Matthew Kenslow and I'm over here in the United States of America, and I've been a Royal Ranger for 20 years and year number 7 as a commander. Thank you so much for checking out this video. The purpose of this video is to go over a merit. In these videos I'm going to walk through every one of the requirements. Now it's important to note that while watching these videos it will not give you the merit. You have to show to your commander that you have watched and learned from these videos. What I recommend you doing is taking down notes for each requirement and then show them to your commander for approval. Some of the purposes of Royal Rangers is to build knowledge, wisdom, skills, and leadership attributes while learning about God's Word and conserving His resources practically. And most importantly, to have fun doing it. So I'm Commander Matthew Kenslow from the United States of America, and be blessed. Hi everybody, welcome to the Safety Merit. As one of my commanders famously said, safety never takes a holiday. So let's begin with the Safety Merit. The Safety Merit has 7 simple requirements, and we will go through them one by one. So let's start with requirement 1. Demonstrate how you would make yourself visible on a nighttime hike with at least 3 safety precautions. So here in this collage we have a backpacker hiking in the middle of the night in the woods. My question to you is, what is wrong with this picture? Take a pause, make a few guesses, and then come back. The first thing is that he's dark, you could barely see him, so he needs to put on some reflectors or reflective tape. Now, if you're out in the middle of the woods with wild animals, you don't want to make yourself visible or reflective tape. If you're out in the community, then always wear reflectors so that the oncoming traffic's headlights could see you. Otherwise, drivers may not see you. Another thing that's wrong is that he's in a dark area, and how could you see without flashlights or a headlamp or a glow stick? So that's also essential. Anything else? Let's imagine that this is in December, or somewhere in the winter, or late fall, early spring. It would probably be cold, so he needs to put on some warmth, like a jacket, sweater, or pants. Okay, conversely, what is right with this picture? He's wearing light colored clothing, so white, yellow, and orange are best colors to wear to help you become visible. So this isn't really part of the Safety Merit, but I want to add this anyway. It's the 10 essentials. So we have up here navigation, so map and compass. There's a merit by itself about this, the compass merit, which is a fun merit. Then there's orienteering, which is a green merit if you're interested in that. Also sun protection, sunglasses and sunscreen are very important to help protect you from the sun's harmful rays. Insulation, so like extra clothes, poncho, an extra jacket. First aid kit, which is very important to have. There's a first aid skills merit that you will probably have if you haven't already. Illumination, such as a headlamp or flashlight, like what we talked about in the previous slide. A repair kit with tools. If you take the toolcraft merit, you will probably be permitted to carry pocket knives to rangers. There's also multi-tools that you could get too, which are very neat. Here's an example of a multi-tool. It's wire cutters, pliers, has a screwdriver, and other things that you could pull out like a blade and such. And it's very compact. It could be folded up and put in a case that you could wear on your belt. Bring waterproof matches or lighters to build a fire if it gets cold and you need to have some warmth. Hydration, like water. If you're hiking, it's always best to put a little bit of salt in the water to replenish some electrolytes, which are units of energy. Otherwise you'll just get fatigue, tired and such. Also sports drinks like Gatorade, for example, or diluted Gatorade could be essential as well. and also a water purifier too. Nutrition, trail mix, extra food as well. Bring extra of those, and something for an emergency shelter. Here is a visual summary of the 10 essentials right here and more. There's a whistle, fire starter, compass, and such. So a lot of things all in one kit, and it could hook onto your backpack. Okay, let's move on to requirement 2. Learn the procedures you would follow in the event of a tornado, fire, or accident in your home. I'm going to start with the tornado. That's why I said it first. So I will start with the best case scenario to the worst case scenario. Here are some examples, like before and after shots of what tornadoes could do. Here's a before and after shot of the infamous Joplin EF5 tornado back in 2011. Killed a lot of people, injured over 1,000. So the first thing is, what is wrong with this picture? Well, obviously, if there's a big monster tornado right there, this is no time for you to get out your cameras or your phones to take pictures or selfies or whatnot. You want to get into shelter as soon as possible. So one, if you are at home, go inside a cellar. Well, some places don't have cellars. There's a company that goes around and builds shelters for you. They pour 60,000 pounds of concrete over a cage made out of steel. And then all you have to do is just go inside and you're not going anywhere, which is pretty neat. But if you're in a tornado-prone area, this is essential. If you're not in a tornado-prone area, it's still essential nonetheless. Tornadoes can actually happen anywhere on the planet. Some places it's just exceedingly rare, but it could happen. So it's important that you know this material regardless, and plus you could help a friend. If you have a friend living over there and they call you, or what they should do is they should call you before it happens, so you could just tell them this wonderful life-saving information right here. If you don't have a cellar, go to your basement and go by the corner, pull something over you like a mattress, or get underneath something sturdy like a table or a piano. And you always want to avoid glass, avoid windows and mirrors. For children, wear helmets like motorcycle helmets or bike helmet for extra protection. If you don't have a basement, go to the lowest floor of your house. Here's a simple floor plan of a house. What you want to do is go to the centralmost part of the house, a central hallway or a central closet. The goal is to maximize the amount of walls around you. Sometimes there's a central bathroom. Well, in this house there's not. In this case, you have windows right here. The walls of the bathroom are adjacent to the external walls of the house. So you don't want to go in there. In this house, you want to go somewhere in the center. If the bathroom is in the center of the house, that's better. It's best to go in there and go in the tub and put a blanket around you and just wait out the tornado. The reason why bathrooms are ideal is because of the piping that's within the walls. That will further help slow down any debris that's coming at you at several miles per hour. Here's a video to show that, courtesy of the Weather Channel. See, that's a piece of wood right there, probably from a tree. And that's a piece of construction material, wood, another piece of wood right there. So that's what tornadoes could do. It could take pieces of a tree or a fence post or pencils or anything like that and change it into a lethal projectile. And you don't want that going inside your body. That's why if you maximize the amount of walls around you, especially in a central bathroom where there's pipes, it could help slow down such projectiles. And that's a piece of wood going through brick right there. If you live in the second or higher floor of a hotel, apartment, condominium, motel, or wherever you're at, then it's best to make friends with your neighbors downstairs in the first story. Or vice versa, you could be the neighbor downstairs and you could make an agreement with a friend or two or three that if there's a tornado that comes, you could come inside here and then just follow the procedures that you would if for number 3 right here, in case you don't have a basement. Just go in the middle of the first story. And sometimes the community clubhouse or laundry room has an interior windowless room that would suffice as well. If you're out in the community, especially in tornado-prone areas, you will probably find a community storm shelter. If you're out in the neighborhood, away from the downtown area where all the shops and markets are, and let's say that you're in your car, get out. Just get out of your car, because if you watch this ABC video, that's a tractor trailer right there from semi-trucks being thrown around like toys. And this is what could happen to a car. So a car is not a good place to be. A mobile home park is a bad place to be. So get out and lie in a ditch. The reason that I heard why is because the higher you are, the more powerful the wind speed is. And of course there's a lot of projectiles flying everywhere. Therefore, if you're out in the road and you're near a hill up here, or a valley or a ditch down here, go to the lowest place possible and lie flat on the ground. And never go inside a storm drain, a tunnel, or an underpass. Why? It's because in such meteorological conditions like a tornado, if you go inside here, it will act like a vacuum and suck you out to the tornado. Okay, here's a tornado preparation sheet that you have to go over with your family. So go to your commander and request this so that you could go ahead and get started on this, and then return it to your commander for credit. Now let's talk about house fires. This is another sheet that you could take a screenshot, or you could ask your commander for MLR 1A and go over this with your family. But here's a preview. Smoke detectors. Install smoke detectors on each level of your home. Test smoke detectors once a month. Change batteries once a year and keep them clean. Fire extinguishers. They should be in the central part of the house or near the kitchen, and you want to check the gauge indicating if it's charged. It's this thing right up here. Let me enlarge it, and you see where it's green right here, that's the optimal range right there. Here it's pointing at 0, so it needs to be recharged, but it shouldn't be overcharged as well. So if it's low, it has to be recharged. And remember the pass system. So I have a video here.
P. Pull the pin. This will also break the tamper seal. A. Aim low, pointing the extinguisher nozzle at the base of the fire. S. Squeeze the handle to release the extinguishing agent. S. Sweep from side to side at the base of the fire until it appears to be out.
So that comes from Pasadena Media. Now, I just want to reiterate what they said. Make sure that you aim at the base of the fire, not in the middle and not up here, but at the base of the fire, and sweep side to side. Okay, so the fire escape plan. You will be drawing the floor plan of your home, and you're going to mark 2 fire escapes from each room of the house. So the best case scenario is that nothing is blocking your doors so that you could have an easy access out. That's the primary escape path. But if something is blocking your door, then you have the secondary escape path, which is through the window. And also have escape ladders on the upper floors, just like this image right here. And also pick a safe place outside of your house to meet at, like a tree, mailbox, or whatever. So at home you have to conduct a fire drill at least 2 times each year. That's recommended so that you could maximize your preparedness. Here's some fire safety tips. Keep the bedroom door closed while sleeping. That could help save lives. It could add about 10 or 20 more minutes according to the door, because each door is graded. So that will actually help keep the smoke and the flames out. It will provide a barrier. Consider installing a sprinkler system. Replace smoke detectors every 10 years. Of course, don't forget to keep on checking it and replacing the batteries. If you are unable to escape a room, call 911 and indicate where you are, or place a bright colored cloth at the window. Feel the door with, where? The palm of your hand or the back of your hand? Make a guess. It would be the back of your hand. It's less sensitive than the palm. And you want to always check that prior to exiting through the door. And you want to crawl your way out because heat rises. You want to feel the door toward the middle of the door and then work your way down. Make sure it's not too hot. And of course be very careful with the doorknobs, since the doorknobs are metallic. Therefore they're better conductors of heat and electricity versus wood. So if you touch a doorknob and it's super hot, then it may very well burn you. And once you have left the house, stay out. Don't run back for your most prized possession or whatnot. Your life is more important. A couple of extra safety tips that Royal Rangers does not have are CO detectors. CO stands for carbon monoxide, which is an odorless, tasteless, and invisible gas, which means that you can't smell, taste, feel, detect, see, or whatever. It's actually a killer, so you want to have this alarm. It works like a smoke detector, and sometimes there's a hybrid smoke detector / carbon monoxide alarm, and it's good to have. Otherwise you might experience flu-like symptoms, among other things, so it's very good to have and may save a life. Another thing is don't be in a closed garage with a running car, because the car exhaust would fill the garage to high levels of toxins, and then you're breathing that in, and you might get lightheaded, you might faint, and might literally suffocate in there, so don't do that. So items for a disaster supply kit. Not just for tornadoes, house fires, or hurricanes, but there's earthquakes and floods and other disasters that could happen. A first aid kit, required medication, and important documents such as medical documents and such. Canned food and a can opener. 3 gallons of water per person. Protective clothing. Bedding or sleeping bags. A battery-powered radio. A flashlight and extra batteries. And special items for infants, the elderly, or the disabled. That could be puzzles, Sudoku games, or word search. Okay, requirement 3. Explain and demonstrate the proper safety procedures for riding a bike on a public road. And list 3 pieces of safety equipment you should have on your bike. So, this is a bicycle, obviously. So, what is wrong with this picture? Pause the video, make a guess. Okay, well, the thing that should stand out is that there are no helmets. So put on some helmets. So that's one of the 3 safety equipments. Always wear a bike helmet for your head protection, because a simple fall could damage your brain. Another thing you might have noticed is this. I'm not sure what happened the instant after this photo was taken, but it doesn't look good. But anyway. Use reflectors on the front, rear, and both sides of the bicycle. I've seen bicycles with reflectors or even lights on the wheels. If you're just beginning, training wheels are good. I saw an invention on television several years ago, and this older brother invented for his younger brother a bicycle where the handles become like throttles, and you just turn the handlebars and it will lift up the training wheels, and then if it gets too scary you could always put it down. So I thought that was very inventive. Okay, what's wrong with this picture? Obviously, you want to ride a bike that's the right size for you. Before each ride, check that the wheels aren't loose and your brakes work. And the third safety equipment would be your brakes. And make sure that they're in good working order so that you could stop quickly when needed. Okay, what's wrong with this silhouette? Carry no passengers except on approved baby seats. I understand that there's some bicycles, and I've seen this, that has places where you could put your feet on the back wheel and ride like that. But sort of best to carry no passengers like that, unless you're very, very, very careful and experienced. Okay, let's talk about bicycle lanes. These bicycle lanes are there for you. These are generally one way, but sometimes there are two-way bicycle lanes. Okay, so what's wrong with this picture? There's actually a couple of things wrong. So take a guess. It is the fact that the passenger, not the passenger, but the bicyclist does not have a helmet, but also that this bicyclist is going the wrong way. If you look down here, this indicates that you're supposed to go the other way. So ride on the right with the flow of traffic. Stop at all stop signs and all traffic lights. And do not ride in the wrong direction on one-way streets. That's what this bicyclist is violating right here. So here are the rules of the road. Yield to people walking, ride single file, keep to the right, like we just said, and obey traffic laws. When exiting a driveway or crossing a street, you stop and look where? To the left or the right first? Well, you will look to the left first, then the right, and then look left again. Exit only when there is no traffic. So here's an intersection. Let's say that you're right here where the red dot is, and you want to go forward. What you do is you look left because the cars closest to you are coming from your left going this way. And then you want to look right because the lanes above the yellow line here are coming from your right to the left. So you want to look left first, then right, and then left again for good measure before you proceed. Okay, let's talk about the proper hand signals to indicate turns. Okay, so make a guess. Let's start with the one over here. Obviously, this bicyclist is telling you that he or she is heading left, so that's a left turn. Let's skip to over here. If this is a left turn, what's that? Well, it would be a right turn, but that's an alternate way to do a right turn. Remember that when you are in a public road in the bike lane, then if you are to the right, then you might be, slamming against cars or light poles or what have you. So that may be a little not too safe. So instead of extending your right arm, do this, because this is another signal that you're making a right turn. Here means that you're stopping or slowing down, and here is another way to say that you're slowing down. And I've seen other hand signals like follow me and some that are where you move your arm and such. And I guess those are more for motorcyclists too as well. But these are the basic hand signals to remember. I saw this and I thought I might as well put this on here. It says that 82% of children stop their bike at stop signs. 60% wear their helmet. 52% walk their bike across the crosswalks, which is what you're supposed to do. You're not supposed to ride across the street. You're supposed to walk across. And 22% use hand signals, which isn't really, optimal. These all should be 100% right here. And one last thing, I couldn't resist. Obviously, what would be wrong with this picture? Especially if you're a beginner. Well, obviously, you won't want to do that stunt unless you're a BMX professional. Okay, let's move on to requirement 4. Explain the safety precautions taken in a swimming area. Learn the 8 defenses plan for swimming safety. Okay, Okay, number 1 is a buddy system. Always team up with a buddy. 2 is adult supervision with a certified lifeguard. 3 are life-saving equipment, lookouts, medical examinations, intelligent discipline, know and obey the rules. This here is an example of what you might see in a swimming area. And swimming area, swim only in a safe place where the bottom and depth are known. No B, jumping in the pool on the 3 feet side. Believe me, I know. And finally, swimming classifications. Okay, requirement 5. Explain the safety precautions taken before venturing out in a small watercraft. So check your equipment. Never overload the craft. A watercraft is very buoyant, but not that buoyant. Stay with your craft if it is capsized unless it is sinking. What does capsized mean? It means when the boat is literally falling over on its side. Return to shore if a storm or strong wind begins. There are lots of people that have been lost at sea. Be on guard for speeding watercrafts. Do not get caught without a paddle. Never stand up or hang your hands over the side of a moving watercraft. Never operate a boat in restricted areas. I had a few friends several years ago that accidentally crossed that, but they didn't really have a choice. They had to for safety reasons. Leave a float plan which tells you where you're going with an adult. This is extremely important, not just for boating, but also hiking as well. If you're camping somewhere and you're alone or with a few buddies, always tell somebody who's not on the trip where you're going and an estimated time to be back, just in case. Learn the proper way to use a paddle. And finally, always wear a PFD, a personal flotation device, like these life jackets here. Okay, requirement 6. Make a safety inspection under adult supervision of the family car and check all these things listed here and talk to your parent about how these conditions could be remedied if needed. So here's the family car safety inspection guide. Again, you could take a screenshot or go to your commander and they'll give you this, and then you take it home and with your parent or guardian go through each of these, make sure that it works. If there's a problem, write it down and say what the solution is and what is needed to repair it. And finally, requirement 7. List 10 pieces of safety equipment that should be carried in the family car. Number 1 is jumper cables, a small toolkit including screwdrivers and pliers, duct tape, road flares, flashlights and batteries or a glow stick, poncho, car inflator and sealer, bungee cords, first aid kit, safety triangles, fire extinguisher, reflective vest, whistle, tow rope, and etc. So congratulations, you did it. The safety merit. Make sure that you go to your commanders and give them the notes that you took, and if you haven't taken a screenshot and printed it out, request for those checklists, and then the commander should give them to you so that you could take home to your family. Make sure that you do it accordingly, what it says, then return it to the commander and you should have the merit. So congratulations.